All right, let's go ahead and take a look how I plan on updating my 2017 Alfa Romeo Giulia. The first thing I'm actually going to start with is this piece I bought from Go Fast Bits. This is the box. It's a diverter valve. And so it's my understanding that that there can be a lot of leakage around this component, and it's unfortunately the factories are fairly inexpensive, all plastic component, and so upgrading it to this can make a nice difference. It's fairly affordable. It's less than $150. Really an upgrade whether you're going to keep a stock engine or you're actually going to do some chip tuning, which is what I intend to do here. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what we got. Packaging is very professional on the inside. You see here it's got nice foam that protects the component. So you go ahead and pull it out. It gives all the components right here so you can see all the pieces that go along with it, as well as looks like the instruction manual on really how to do the installation. So all that comes right here in the box ready to go. Also have a couple stickers here with Go Fast Bits on there so you can place that somewhere else on the vehicle, I suppose, if that's what you want to do. All right, so that's the first piece. All right, this is the second piece. This is actually a GAN tuner, G-A-N, and that's the company that I chose to work with on tuning for my vehicle. Did a lot of research on it. The thing I particularly liked about the GAN tuning kit is it did offer a 2-year warranty on the engine. So even if it's still under warranty or it's not, seems like it's going to be nice that I'm going to have the peace of mind that if I do use the chip tuner, as I'm intending to do, that it will protect me against potentially an engine failure of some sort if that were to happen. So as it open it up here, you see the outer box. This actually did ship from Germany. Came in super quick. And so you see here in the box where we got a couple components. I've got the wiring harness, so that's set to go, as well as the actual unit itself. So we'll go ahead and open that up and take a quick look at that. Okay, inside looks like I've got multiple books on the probably instruction and installation guide here. Got some decals for GAN. I also have the actual component itself here. Looks to be a nice it's metal shell here, so that's very nice. Feels like it's going to work well under the hood of the car. Gives the tie down straps here. Those are kind of lightweight. I've got probably some better ones I'll actually probably use when I get ready to do the install. But that's what it looks like. So we'll be ready to move forward with these next steps. And of course, the big question is, hey, you spent a little bit extra money here. So the GAN unit that I bought was a little over $600 US. I did buy it online. It was on sale. It's priced in euros, and so your price may vary depending on what the exchange rate is between US dollars and euros if you're here in the US buying that. But again, I feel like it. My quick sense is, hey, it seems like a pretty nice quality product here. I look forward to getting it under the hood and seeing what impact it makes to the vehicle. Here we have my 2017 Alfa Romeo Giulia. This is a TI all-wheel drive, so it's the one with the 4-cylinder engine, 280 horsepower with the turbo. I've not done any customizations to this car other than the tinted windows, so certainly nothing from a performance standpoint. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this and put it on the dyno. Obviously we know what it should be, but we're going to put this specific vehicle on the dyno, double check what we're starting with, and then as we add the customizations, we'll be able to see if they really do make the anticipated impact that we're hoping for. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with this car right here. Okay, and here we go with a quick look at the standard engine in the car. Again, this is the 2-liter, 280 horsepower turbo engine from Alfa Romeo, 2017 model. See right here, engine bay looks obviously nice and clean. No customizations done at this point, and we will start from right here, factory standard, to see what additional performance we can get from this vehicle. And here we are at Fifth Gear Automotive, ready to dyno the stock Alfa Romeo before we start doing customization to it. We'll see how we do today. So what you see here is the results from the first dyno. As you see, 236 horsepower to the wheels. The thing that we struggled with today, though, was really what we felt like getting an accurate reading. Because of all the traction control and stability, devices that are on the vehicle, we did not disable those for this test. This was straight stock. And we got again, 236 horsepower to the wheels. That would indicate a reduction from the engine, which is rated at 280 horsepower, of around 16%. Loss, that's a little bit more than we would have expected. And so next time we're kind of thinking that we may need to come up with a way to disable the traction control and stability control. For those of you that don't own an Alfa Romeo Giulia, there actually is no switch to do that in the four-cylinder car. The upline, the Quadrifoglio, does have a way to disable that via the race mode. But that's not an option on the particular vehicle that I have. So we'll have to go back and think that through a little bit. And again, we'll probably set a new baseline for the next time we do the dyno. Good morning. Here we are at Mill Creek Automotive, ready to get the modifications done to my 2017 Alfa Romeo. So here we go. Let's get started. Okay, once you've got the GAN GT installed, the next thing you need to do is download the app. This is the iPhone version of the app. It's it's just called GAN GT. And I downloaded the app, and then once you do, that's how you turn and activate the device. So by default, there's three settings, options, if you will: Sport, Dynamic, and Eco. Sport will be for the most aggressive driving. That's the one that unleashes the full capabilities of the GAN GT and really will access the maximum horsepower of the vehicle. So that's the one we will be using for doing the dyno, and also kind of giving you my driving impressions of that particular setting. They're very easy to select with the app. You simply just open the app and then it lets you, choose which one you want. At the bottom of this, you actually notice that there's a timer. It's not running here because this is simply a screenshot, but once you start the vehicle, if you designate a timer, it will start counting down before it will activate the chip tuning unit. GAN recommends that you warm your car up for at least 5 minutes. Colder climates, it actually recommends a bit longer than that. I think you can select anything from no warm-up time, maybe up to 20 minutes. The idea is that obviously you let the car, start to warm up before you really start to, push it harder than obviously it was designed by the factory to go. And so I've decided on 5 minutes. That seems comfortable for me, and that's what I've been using. You can also access other customized settings by using the three lines up in the left corner, top left corner. I've not really done that yet. I've been really stuck to the three settings that were designed by the GAN GT team, but certainly there are additional settings and things that you can tweak around. I'm sure I'll do those over time, but this is enough to get you started, and now we can show you what the installation looks like. Okay, we're back. And we've got the GAN GT installed on my 2017 Alfa Romeo Giulia. And so I've got the hood up here, so I want to show you exactly where the installation is, just so you can kind of get a sense for what it looks like. Hey, it's very unobtrusive under the hood. Obviously got the car running right now. And what you see right here is where this purple kind of plug is. This is the GAN GT module right here. And you can see the logo and stuff on it. That's installed. Here's how the cables were routed. I will say that, as you know, I did not install this. I had it installed, but I was told the installation was very easy. And so the guys routed the cables in a real professional manner. That's what I was hoping for. If you recall, I did provide them some extra zip ties in there that I thought were a little bit heavier duty. They used those as well as the ones that were provided with the GAN GT. And that was basically a pretty simple install. You remember I also got the air diverter valve. That's actually back here, so you can't actually see that, with the cover in place, and so I won't be able to show you that. But certainly the main purpose here, what we did was the GAN GT chip tuning module. So with that, let's go ahead and get behind the wheel and kind of share with you some of my driving impressions. Okay, I've had the GAN GT installed now for, a little over a week, and I've had an opportunity to drive it in the various modes. And we're going to obviously look at sport mode today, because most of the time if you're going to chip tune your car, you just want to have a little bit more performance orientation toward the vehicle. So that's what we're going to look at today. And so I have basically put it in sport mode on the GAN GT. I've also have it in the Alfa Romeo on the DNA. I have it in the D, the dynamic mode. Now, what I've noticed so far when you're starting from a stop and you try to do a launch, candidly, I have not noticed that much of a difference between having the GAN GT on and then not having it on. And I think that the reason that is because all of the safety features, around all-wheel drive and the traction control and all of the others, basically driver aids that are engaged with this car, really prevent it from going full launch like it might with the GAN GT. So, and we actually had a little bit of a difficulty with the first dyno, and obviously we're going to dyno again here soon to see what kind of horsepower we gain. But in the first dyno, one of the problems that the technician was having is that the stability control, traction control kept kicking in while he was trying to do it on the dyno. And so we think that we probably got a lower HP at the tire than we should have. And so we are going to go back and retest with the GAN GT, and we're going to put it in stock mode as well as sport mode, and that'll give us kind of a true test. So I do think that because of the driver's aids, I did not notice it as much on the launch. However, where I certainly have noticed it is really driving in and out of a more curvy kind of road. So, kind of actually where you would go and have some fun driving experience. And that is where I have definitely noticed a significant improvement in the performance of the car. So I've been excited about, that piece of using it. It certainly made driving on curvier roads a lot more enjoyable, a lot more entertaining. And so that's really kind of what I'm going to focus on today, is kind of showing you that as we try to drive on a little bit more curvy kind of roads here. All right, so let's get going here and see what we can achieve out of the GAN GT, and see if I can give you guys a sense of the improvement that has delivered to the dynamic mode of this vehicle. I'm pretty familiar with this particular stretch of road, so I thought it would be good where you can kind of see the performance improvement. One of the things that I've certainly noticed about the GAN GT is that it really feels like the engine has to work a lot less hard, a lot easier performance from the motor. It doesn't seem to strain as much as you get on and off of the throttle control. So I think that's made it more fun to drive the car. So from an in-the-seat feel for me, I do feel like the GAN GT has made a significant difference. If you can hear the engine, you'll kind of get a sense that, hey, it's a pretty smooth start. It just doesn't seem like it requires as much effort. The throttle control's super snappy. And I've definitely recognized that the turbo seems to spool more quickly. That certainly, I'm sure the GAN GT is accessing that a little bit differently, and that's also where I think the air diverter valve has helped a little bit as well. Okay, today is dyno day for the GAN GT chip tune unit. I'm at Fifth Gear Automotive in Nashville, Tennessee, so we're ready to go ahead and get this car on the dyno and see what we've done to improve the horsepower output of this vehicle. Okay, the first thing to comment on here, if you remember, we did the original dyno with the traction control and stability control engaged. In this case, these readings were done with those features disabled. I won't go through exactly how we disabled them here. There's videos online on how to do that, but we basically wanted to get really good dyno readings with stability control, traction control, all of those driver assistance aids turned off. And so as a result, we were able to get a little bit higher output from the stock tune, which is indicated in this chart in the green. So you see the 243.2 horsepower. Assuming the engine is correctly rated at 280 horsepower, that would give us a horsepower reduction of about 13% by the time it gets to the wheels. Considering that it's an all-wheel drive vehicle, and obviously the power's got to transfer through the transmission, we felt like that is right in line with expectations about what we should see from a power reduction standpoint. Now, if you look at the red line, that's the GT, the GAN GT set in sport mode, and you certainly see that we got almost a 20 horsepower increase at the wheels. And if we do the math on that, on what that means the new modified engine output would be, that would give us pretty close to a 303 horsepower at the engine as it obviously hits into the transmission and gets distributed to the wheels. So certainly, you know, where I said, hey, I certainly felt like I felt a power improvement, a performance improvement. Certainly you put it on the dyno, and the dyno reinforces that, yes, indeed, the GAN GT does deliver a significant performance improvement with the Alfa Romeo Guilia. So much success here. Really excited by the confirmation that the GAN GT is really kind of doing what it said it would do. Okay, so today's test with the GAN GT was to actually put it in the eco mode, and then also marry that up with the A setting on the DNA of the Alfa Romeo, which is the kind of the all-weather setting or advanced economy. I've heard it called both, and really see what does that do for a reasonable distance car ride from a mileage standpoint. I mean, one of the claims is that, hey, if you use the GAN GT, it will improve your gas mileage. So let's take a look and see what we did today. Okay, so as you see here, basically took a 52-mile trip. For the most part, it was interstate. I would say there's probably, of the 54 miles that I drove, probably 15 miles was not on interstate. The speed limit on interstate was 70. I set my cruise control at 70 just so we could really kind of try to maximize and see what we got. And as you see, was able to average 32.3 miles per gallon. All right, so basically did this exact same journey as close as I could. This time I put the GAN GT in stock mode, so I did not use it at all. And I did put the DNA selector in A. So I did it again. I did it as close as I could to the exact same trip I did. And actually, it looks like to me, I actually got a little bit better gas mileage without the GAN GT than I did in the, with it. So I'll give you a quick shot here of what the dashboard looks like. Okay, so here you see the mileage at 51.9 miles. I averaged 57 miles per hour. I think that's very close to what I did last time. averaged at 35.9 miles per gallon, and it actually was at 36 when I started the video clip, so it dropped a little bit in the minute that I was sitting here. But anyway, you can see, not scientific, but certainly based upon a one trip experience, that's what I found from a mileage perspective. Okay, so I guess we've done the test, we've done the dyno, the mileage checks. So what's the verdict? So for me, the real reason that I wanted to chip tune my car was I just wanted to have some fun with it. I wanted to do something a little bit different than everybody else was doing. And so the question I guess I really have to answer is, did the GAN GT serve that function? And it absolutely did. I've had a lot of fun trying to figure out what makes most sense with the car, what works, and do some, some tests with it. So that's been an absolute blast. So from that standpoint, total win. Now, my expectation for chip tuning was literally nothing. I did not know if chip tuning would really make a difference or not, if it would be noticeable and or measurable. And obviously, in the case of the GAN GT, I have to say it was both of those. It's made a noticeable difference in the way the car feels. Again, it certainly love it in the mid-range of where it's shifting gears, going around corners. That's been awesome. So from that standpoint, it added more horsepower, a little over 20 probably at the engine. So that's great. So that's a win and unexpected for me. The mileage piece is a little bit of a question. Certainly, I've always achieved more than the stated mileage on the Alfa Romeo, which was, range of up to 31. On straight highway driving, I can get 34 consistently. And so the fact that in my test I even got 36 was really kind of extraordinary. So I'm not sure what to make of that. I may do a little bit more playing around to see if mileage can really be improved by the GAN GT. But again, that's not why I bought it. I really bought it for more of the performance factors of that. So from that standpoint, again, it's a win for me. So is the GAN GT right for you? Is the chip tuning the thing to do for your car? Hey, there's lots of claims out there. None of them claim exactly what the horsepower gain will be for your vehicle. I can only tell you specifically for the Alfa Romeo Giulia, the GAN GT apparently contributes around 23 additional horsepower at the engine, and it certainly translates it to me in the way it feels at the wheel. So I would encourage you, if you're interested in chip tuning your Alfa Romeo, I'd certainly consider the GAN GT as a reasonable option.